Alrighty, folks, we are going to talk mortgage rates. Barry Habib, his call on mortgage rates over the next 6 months with Mr. Stephen Dow. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. And yourself?
I'm doing really, really well. Why don't you do that marketing thing so we get it out of the way and we get into the meat of our conversation?
Perfect. Although I work very happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel are that of my own. So let's get it going.
The first thing I want to ask, I just want to remind people, Stephen, how long have you been doing mortgages?
See, around 1995, late 1995. So we're going.
So we're talking 30 years, right?
Almost,
You've been in mortgage 30 years.
Almost.
And again, you're not in the business of forecasting mortgage rates, but you've been around the block enough to understand the tea leaves, and you probably have a decent feeling if mortgage rates are going up or mortgage rates are going down, right? Mm-hmm. Is that reasonable to think?
I mean, I try to pay as much attention to certain, metrics that usually tell you, because it's just,
it's
cycles.
math.
Yeah, it's a simple math. And, if you've studied enough, history kind of typically repeats itself. If you can see the markers, it's not like predicting. It's just, educated decision, educated guess. Like it's, that's all it is.
Like you said, it's cycles, right? Things move, with the wind, right? If you will.
Right. And nowadays, when you have access to a lot of different platforms where you can get information, you can almost sense where it's going, and then you pick up on other certain factors nowadays with geopolitical events and other, local or national events that could impact, your business. So if you stay pretty well informed, you can kind of make a pretty good guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I do, right? I've been studying the economy for the better part of 30 years as well. Mm-hmm. But I want to talk about something, Barry Habib. Again, I want to give Barry Habib all his flowers. He does the credit. He's won the Crystal Ball Award multiple times. He is the shit when it comes to mortgage rate prediction. So all of that said, Barry Habib is calling for 30-year mortgage rates, Stephen, to be 5.8% in 6 months. What say you?
Wait, you said 5.8?
Yeah, in 6 months. Today they're 7.1.
Yeah. I mean, he must be very, very, positive. I think he's just optimistic for maybe the new administration coming in. I don't know, because it's just hard because, from my hometown, stuff like that, just a lot of going on, over there. And I got family back there. My sister who still lives near there in Sherman Oaks, she's having to do all the smoke and stuff. So just a lot on my mind. But yeah, I mean, how to get to 5.8 from here, from now to then, it could. I mean, you just never know, but I don't know if there's going to be a resurgence of,
Is it fair to say that would not be your call? You would not.
That would not be my call. That would not be my call. No. I mean, but I'm not really like a super big gambler guy either. You know what I mean? But that wouldn't be my call either.
Well, what I wanted to talk with you about, again, Barry Habib deserves all his flowers. He's the best of the best. Let's be clear. I hope he's right.
I'm not Barry, though. Yeah,
right. I hope he's right. I'm calling 7. Barry's calling 5.8. Barry's got the hardware. Barry's right a lot. So, it is what it is. But I just wanted to talk to you because, again, the beauty of this is I think we have evidence. More importantly, I think we have multiple pieces of evidence that if mortgage rates are even close to 6, let alone below 6, that demand's about to go bonkers. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. below, I mean, anywhere below 6, I mean, it's going to go bonkers.
It's going to go ham.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people that had to take certain loans that they didn't want to when, it spiked up really, really fast. And I think that's a good marker to where you're going to get a good swap of people that are able to refi that makes sense. Otherwise, it moves just a little bit in the cost. But if it's significant enough and it's long term, they might just pull the trigger because it's just about the cost at that point.
I think it's multifold. I think you're absolutely right. And again, I love giving credit to people that do good work. Mike Simonson on Housing Wire did a great article I read this morning. I think it came out yesterday, talking about 17.2% of all mortgages are over 6%.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the highest since like 1994 or some crazy, like 2004, some crazy number. So years ago. And oh, by the way, the longer rates are over 7, that only goes higher from here, right? Every new mortgage makes 17.2% get higher.
Right.
To your point, though, if you're at 7, in 6 months from now we're at 5.8. Let me just ask you this question.
I know.
If the average mortgage rate is 5.8, with your 30 years of experience, would it be unreasonable to think with a couple of points you could get to 4.99?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so, like I said, it would make sense. Yeah. I mean, there are some, new construction for developers around my area right now. I mean, they're buying their rates down to like 4 something, some 3. Yeah. I mean, for a little bit about 3.99, but it's now around 4.99, 4.875, something like that. So, but if you can get that on a refi, oh my God, just buying some points. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? If Barry's right, and let's all hope he is, right? If you're at 7 and you like your home, you don't even do a cash out refi. You just do a rate and term. You spend 2 points to buy it down to 4.99. You must be saving $1,000 or $800 or something.
Pretty close, depending upon what your balance is. But I mean, it's just simple math and what's really impactful to your life as far as the payment relief and what makes sense. Sometimes you go refi, and I used to work for certain mortgage or brokerages where it was just all built in. There was like no money out of pocket.
Yep.
It was instant refi, super fast, streamlined. I would just tell them how much you saved, and since you didn't come out of pocket, I paid for the appraisal. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I was done the loan in like 2 weeks. So if you're dropping rates below that fast, and people all have to do is just call and just
we will do streamlines like we did FHA and VA streamlines. Were a big thing in 24 for a couple of months.
Right.
They'll do streamlined conventionals.
Right.
It'll be wild.
That's exactly what we used to do. It was automated. Everything was just like I didn't even need a lot of
you call someone up and say, hey, you want to save $777?
They called us. It was like like a toll-free number they called in, and we just fielded calls. It was just like you just had to show them, make money. That's all you had to do. Is just and I talk fast, so I was like one of the top guys. But
But also, let's talk purchases. Purchases are going to go through a roof. How many people are on the sideline at 7% that aren't on the sideline at 5%?
Right. Well, there's going to be a ton because there's still demand. It's just what's affordable. That's the real key. It's not like, oh, there's no demand. The demand out there because it's not affordable. But life cycles, people need to live someplace. Yeah. People need to expand. They're having families. You know what I mean? So that's never going to stop. It's just whether or not they can afford to buy at those prices. So you're going to have the ebb and flow. Don't know if sellers are going to get get slapped around with reality and get kind of with the program. Maybe we might have a little bit more action now, but we'll see.
Well, that's the other key that people need to realize is if you get rates down to 4.99, what might happen, and I actually think it will happen to some extent, is the move-up buyer unlocks, and that's why the freaking real estate market's in a depression. Is because the move-up buyer is stuck.
Right.
But you have a 3.99, but you need a bigger house because you just had another kid.
Right.
You might take a 4.99, but you're not going to take a 7.99.
No, that's where, that's where a lot of stuff is just locked in. And so, but again, I think that goes back to what you were saying before with the, higher for longer kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And once that drops below that, like 6%, that's kind of like the psychological number, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're building this big compression.
Yeah. Like it's almost the exact same thing. If I'm selling 6.125 or 5.99, essentially, you know what I mean? When it comes down to
trigger,
it,
the 5.99, the 5 handle.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's the key. But no, it's going to be interesting, man. Again, that's why I kind of like working in this business. It's always pretty exciting because there's certain things that you can do to prepare, and then there's certain things that just totally out of your control, and you're just along for the ride, So
yeah. At the end of the day, folks, this is going to be very interesting. I think we should all. I don't know. You tell me in the comments below, folks. Should we hope Barry is right, or should we hope Barry is wrong? Because I can look at it both ways. I think for the real estate industry, for mortgage brokers, clearly we want Barry to be right.
Right.
If you're a real estate investor, you're probably okay with him not being right, at least not being right, because I think Barry's going to be right long term.
Right.
Of course.
I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I think almost everybody will be right long term at some point. It's like, hey, I told you so. Yeah, but it took 30 years to get right.
All right. Let me be more clear. I think Barry will be right in the next 18 months.
Right.
Where I kind of just go, is the 6-month call.
Yeah, because it's so fast, man.
Dude, it's
months.
like, dude.
I mean, look at how fast 2024 went by. When he's saying 6 months, bro. You know
Come
what I mean?
on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting like the world's just getting crazier and crazier as we get closer to Trump getting into actual office. You know, he's not even actually in office yet, and the world's a little crazy. You know what I mean?
It's gonna get wild, man.
Dude, I'm just preparing. So 6 months, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope he's right. I mean, let's
I am I am too, because that's going to unlock a lot of like business going to trickle our way, and if that's where the temperature is, in the market, that should trickle down to me. And so if that trickles down to me, I'm now selling better rates. And so
good for you. Yeah. So folks, at the end of the day, this was a fun conversation about what's coming, but don't forget, you can do business now. Velocity Mortgage does portfolio loans, 50, 40, 10s, flip loans, all of that stuff out there. Steven, if they want to talk shop, what do they do?
Just email me again, what's on the screen, sdow@velocitymortgage.com. In the subject line, please put the acronym ORAAT, which is basically the acronym for one rental at a time, just so we make it past the firewall. Body of the email, brief description, of what you're maybe looking for. Property address is super helpful. At least city and state to make sure I lend there, and then your mid-FICO score, best phone number to reach you at, and typically 24, 40 hours, I'll be in touch. I'm pretty much all caught up now. There shouldn't be any other delays. I was for about a small window, about a week, where I was about a week and a half behind, only because there was
you
just
were gone
a pile.
For a month.
Yeah, I mean, I was gone for 24. It was bad, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever do that again, unless I'm just still working on that vacation. But this was the first time ever in my life where I truly actually, I lied. I plugged in for a couple of days, but the majority of the time I was fully off. But never again, because you come back and just all hell breaks loose, man. So I mean, you have a team that tries to help out, but they got their workload, and you got my avalanche of workload, and they're like doing the best they can. So but they were wonderful, and I appreciate them. Anyway, Michael, thank you for everything. You have a wonderful weekend, brother.
Later, man. Take care.